But it's important to show that there is reference. And it's not like you are talking to someone and you say, because of, yeah, okay, yeah, that's what I was talking about. You see, that is, in speaking, you can speak in codes, that's fine, but in writing, please don't speak in codes. It has to be clear, crystal clear. Imagine one day you have the power to influence important people's decisions, presidents, mayors, directors. Well, imagine you can do it in English. How about that? You know beautiful words to put together. You know how to organize your sentences. You know how paragraphs can appear on your letter. And one day you will write a letter like that. And it's so powerful and effective with a clear message that will influence a particular action in your representative's decisions. That day will come. You need to practice working on it. You will be able to do it one day. And this is the place that will help you get to that destination. Welcome to IELTS Juice. Let's start assessing a letter for General Training IELTS module. The letter says, a company, a large company in your area has decided to spend a certain amount of money, either to sponsor a local children's sports team for 2 years or to pay for 2 open-air concerts. It refers to the company, that large company, has asked for feedback from the general public. That means you and me. We are going to write a letter to this large, successful, big, multi-million-dollar company. In our letter, we need to describe the benefits of sponsoring the sports team. Cool. We also need to summarize the benefits of paying for the concerts. Great. And we are going to say how we think the company should spend that money. Let me break it down. We live in a neighborhood and we are fortunate to have a large company operating in our neighborhood. We need to write a letter. Why? Because the company has 2 projects and probably cannot do them both at the same time. So there's, usually they have limited budgets or limited time or resources. So they ask us to set the priorities. What are the priorities? We have a sports team to sponsor, or we can pay for 2 open-air concerts. So there are 2 options. Both are beneficial for our community. How do I know that? Because in both bullet points, we only talk about the benefits. IELTS doesn't want us to talk about the disadvantages of these 2, because basically both are considered, from the IELTS perspective, in this letter, both are considered beneficial for our community. Done. We are going to decide which one in the 3rd bullet point is good for our community and how this money should be spent. Please pay attention. The rubric says, say how you think the company should spend the money. There are many options. It doesn't say, decide which one of these items, which one of these projects is suitable. Choose one of them and say why. It doesn't say that. It says how the company should spend the money. You can be smart here. Of course, you can decide one of the options. You can say, yeah, let's pay for 2 open air concerts. Cool. Good. Everybody can attend the concert for free, or the concerts, sorry, plural. All right, that's one option. Or you can decide that a combination would work. Instead of maybe 2 concerts, you can pay for 1 concert, and at the same time, you can sponsor like 50% of, I don't know, a sports event. That might be a little bit challenging, but that's possible. That is still within the framework of this question. The third option is that you can come up with a totally different project. You might say, save it, save the money, because we definitely need clean water in our neighborhood, and our pipes are old. Or you can basically say we need better roads, we need better facilities, the lighting is an issue. At night, it's pitch dark, it's so dangerous. We have crime issues in our neighborhood. Maybe a police station would help. Maybe we can fund the police. That is also possible. I'm not saying you have to choose a totally different. I'm just saying all these options, according to this rubric, are valid, are okay. You can choose one of the options that I just told you. On that note, let's continue reading the response together. Dear sir or madam, of course you can start by saying dear Mr. Smith, dear madam, dear Ms. Johnson. You can come up with some not fake, I'm just saying some random. We can come up with some random surnames. That's fine. But if IELTS dictates that we start our letter with this, then we have no choice but to start the letter like that. So this is actually a standard salutation. I also need to mention this is 100% a formal letter. I am writing, all in full formats. There is no contraction. It's not I'm writing. It's I am writing to show formality. I am writing with regard to that certain budget. I don't like this referencing. We're just starting. Imagine, put yourselves in the shoes of, I don't know, a member of a community, a neighborhood, a district, a city, and you are writing a letter to the mayor, to a representative of your neighborhood or a representative of your district. These guys are very busy people. They receive hundreds of mails and emails, maybe more, thousands. So you cannot start by saying, hey, remember that project? Doesn't work that way. You need to be to the point, and at the same time, you need to summarize everything. So it's a very, very delicate move. I know it's difficult, but look at the bright side. Your power of English can make influence on other people's decisions and actions. So if you do it right, it's such a power that you can use later on in your life. So start practicing, and this is an opportunity. So we can do it together. Let me continue. With regard to the recent project, the recent budget that was passed on dates, blah, blah, number, blah, blah, everything can be random. Which our feedback is uncountable. You can say feedback points, but basically it's better to say which our feedback has been kindly asked for allocation. It's a very weird way to say in which you kindly asked for our feedback to be collected, not allocated. You don't allocate feedback to anything. It's basically a bit poorly worded. So you understand now that the power of words are now telling me that it's not going to be a very powerful letter because the opening sentence is not clear. So when the sentence is not clear, maybe your goal is not clear, maybe the point is not clear. And in reality, the director of this company would look at the letter and would say, yeah, I don't understand anything. Next. And they just basically archive your letter, which is something that we don't want. Considering sponsoring the local sports team, well, when sport comes with another noun, it is usually in the combination of sports with another noun. So we say sports games, sports stadiums, sports arena, sports team, sports people. Those are familiar terms. Its merits are hard to be ignored. Usually people say its merits are hard to ignore. But this is also fine because ignore is a transitive verb and you can make it into a passive voice. I keep talking about active and passive voice. I'm going to include a lesson in the description below. Hopefully it will clarify things. Again, it's a 1 or 2 minute read. It's very short, but it helps you understand and hopefully it clarifies things for you. Firstly, such a financial budget could motivate the local teenagers. We weren't talking about teenagers. The rubric mentioned children's sports team. Children range from 3, 4, all the way to 11, 12 maximum. Teenagers are people from the age of 13 to 19. You know, 13, 14, 15, 19, hence the name, teenagers. So this is not a disastrous mistake, but we actually don't want to motivate teenagers. We want to motivate children to exercise more and improve their team skills. If the sports they do are team sports, you know, for example, wrestling is not a team sport. You wrestle, it's one-on-one, or boxing. If I were the writer, I would have added an example here, another sentence, just to say how valuable team sports are for our community, because it boosts the sense of unity, and you know, people get together. It increases security, things like that. Just one of these items to help the reader understand the complete concept. Furthermore, such a decision would relieve stress from their parents who are worried that these children, now we're talking about children, not teenagers, tend to juvenile, spelled incorrectly, juvenile, tend to maybe turn to juvenile delinquencies. Maybe they turn, like they are motivated to commit some crimes. So no, yeah, I need a proper verb or something else here, like tend to commit. And this is plural. I don't need a. We can delete a here, which are on the rise in our area. Oh, sadly. A better approach to this sentence would be, which, according to the recent statistics published by your office, or statistics that you also saw on our local magazine, the numbers are on the rise in our area. You know, something a bit more formal and at the same time effective. I'm just making a suggestion here. I want you to understand. This is just one example, but doing this will help you increase the effectiveness of your sentences, of your messages. Second body paragraph. On the other hand, spending this money for 2 open-air concerts would be advantageous for residents ranging from, I would have added a comma here, because it's actually the short form of which range from, and that part was deleted or contracted, ranging from the child to the elderly. Okay. Good. Imagine the elderly attending an open-air concert, which is fine, which is beautiful, of course. But yeah, you need to have different concerts with different tastes. Therefore, many families will participate in these concerts if they hold here. If I don't know who they refers to. I believe they are like concert organizers, or if, oh, maybe the concerts themselves. In these concerts, if these concerts, yeah, again, if they are held here, because concerts do not hold anything, they are held. Someone else, an organizer holds a concert, or maybe a music band holds a concert. Apart from this, such artistic events could plant a seed, yeah, good, of interest. You plant a seed of interest in many children who are not exposed to live music due to disadvantaged financial status. So, yeah, yes, I want to know the disadvantaged, who they are. We need a bit more context here. I understand in reality, the receiver and the sender both are in the same neighborhood probably, and they are 100% familiar with the situation. That is correct. Still, I'm an outsider, and in our IELTS reality, someone else is going to read your work. In the, you know, if that individual who is an IELTS marker or an or assessor sees these sentences and doesn't understand what is going on, then you might not get a high score, or you might not get the desired score. I'm just saying, be careful. Remember, what you're writing is going to be read by just an examiner. So, and that examiner has no clue of the disadvantaged financial status in your neighborhood. You needed to say some more sentences just to deepen the message and make it clearer. Finally, I believe that if we compare the long-term impacts of these two options, the first one will be more rational and helpful. The first one, the former one, is the one to sponsor a sports team. This is mainly because 2 years sponsorship, I need an apostrophe after S here, of this sports team. I don't know this. We don't even know what type of sports team this neighborhood has. Is it a baseball team? Is it a football or soccer team? Is it a cricket team? Really don't know. It's just this sports team. We could just come up with some name. Can absolutely affect their achievements. And I believe their achievement refers to the children of that neighborhood's achievement. I am assuming there's some of the references here are not very clear. I would like to appreciate your generosity. I would like to appreciate your generosity for such a philanthropic project. Whoa, whoa. All of a sudden, I have so many beautiful words. Philanthropic? Wow. Generosity? Nice. Appreciate? Very, very good. Just 3 uncommon nouns in one sentence towards the end. I like it. Yours faithfully, 201 words. Let's look at the band descriptors. Okay, pretty straightforward. Yeah, many vocabulary mistakes. I understand. Some confusion in referencing. There were basically the cohesion was okay. The connection from one sentence to another basically was fine, but it wasn't perfect. Like technically, it wasn't 100% perfect. And one of them was the issue that we had maybe in some unclear referencing. And for grammar, I basically just saw some, I mean, even fewer than some, I mean, just a few errors. Not many grammatical errors. They did not affect communication, of course. The range was okay and normal. We had, if I remember correctly, we had some conditional sentences that they were executed correctly. We had a contracted form, but needed better punctuation. It needed a comma. So basically, I'm happy with grammar. I'm a lot happier with grammar than with lexical resource. But the main point I would like to talk about is the task achievement part, because we address the requirements of the task a little better than minimally. So we talked about the 3 bullet points, but there were instances that I wanted an example, a deeper message, a better reference, why we're saying this, why we say there's crime. It's a conversation between you and a business leader, and that business leader should know. We shouldn't just confuse him or her. We should give him or her some context, some info. And also we need to remember we cannot speak in codes that the business leader and we can understand. We have an IELTS examiner who is a third party reading this letter, and we also need to know, we need to write in a way that the IELTS examiner understands the context, understand the message. Let me clarify this. When we say we have crime, we need to say a reference. We need to mention it. We need at least one more sentence to say, yeah, according to the recent statistics, according to the police report that everybody saw back in January. I don't know, something with a reference. It doesn't have to be valid. It can be a random reference. It can be a random date, a random number, a random month. It doesn't matter. Anything can be randomized here. But it's important to show that there is reference. And it's not like you are talking to someone and you say, because of, yeah, okay, yeah, that's what I was talking about. You see, that is In speaking, you can speak in codes, that's fine, but in writing, please don't speak in codes. It has to be clear, crystal clear. Everything has to come inside that letter. And that also serves the fourth point here. The purpose is generally clear. Remember the opening statement? The opening statement, the very first statement was a bit unclear. And then you would look at it and feel, I'm not sure if this letter is relevant. Next, let's read another one. And you will lose your influence. 6 is a healthy score for this letter. I hope you had many takeaways from this one. And I'm really serious about the fact that I explained in the beginning of this video. Your words, your sentences, your paragraphs, your letters, your essays are powerful if you want them to be, if you work on them, if you give them correct information, if you help them, they will be your representatives and they will help you later on. Look at it this way. Until the time you're satisfied with your representatives, I hope you will have a lovely day ahead.